Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
So today we will start with the payrolls building blocks. So last session we went with this work rule building blocks. So this session we'll go with these items. Payroll building blocks. So before that, Kiran, a quick overview on what we saw yesterday also. Yesterday main item. What you need to know is the holidays. So for a particular year, we'll have a set of holidays for each families, right? State-wise, there will be some holidays. National-wide, there will be some holidays. So all these things are stored under this holidays. Under papers, there is a holiday. So here, what we will have is, we will have a holiday name. We will have the display name, which should provide the Kronos, and then just the date. If it is New Year, it means 112 or 12. That is only in the name. If it is a state holiday or a national holiday or just a particular region's holiday, everything will be loaded here. And then this will be assigned to the payroll based on the region wise. So we'll have different payrolls for different states. Okay, anyway, you are providing the recorded videos. No, I will go through. Yeah, the registration. Regarding holidays, this is what we just created and save it. That's it. We'll give the date. That's it. Nothing here. I'll go through that. If I find any issues, I'll take that. That's about the holidays. And then we jump into the payroll building blocks. So, what we have in the payroll building blocks is we'll come to the holiday credits rules at the last. We have sign-off restriction, pungent, reputation, processing order, fixer tools and work, free direct. First, we will go to sign-off restriction. What is sign-off restrictions? This will not be applicable to all the payrolls and it's not mandatory. If needed, we can use it. Even all the 4 options is like an option only. But most companies use pungent reputation and fixer tool is kind of mandatory. And most companies use pungent reputation tool also. So first, let's see what is sign-off restriction. Sign-off restriction means nothing. So once a particular pay period is complete, the manager will go into the employee's time card and will try to approve his time card. Once a particular week, or if it's a bi-weekly, the manager will go in and will try to approve his time card. So at that time, we know that there are 2 levels of approval. One is normally approving the time card, which is here. And the second one is signing off. That is the second level of approval. You're aware of this, right? First level is normal approving of the time card and second level is sign off. So first level is mostly done by the manager and second level will be done by the HR or the payroll admin. So once we try to sign off the time card, we can have some restriction that if an employee is having a missed punch or if he's having an unexcused absence, we can make the system to throw an error when he's trying to sign off. And we'll ask him to fix it up. Example, if you see this particular condition. Here the employee is having one unexcused absence. The employee is scheduled to work, but he is not available. So in this case, the manager needs to enter something here in the pay code like unexcused absence and put some hours to that. Means we need to put something and cover it up so that this exception goes up. Only then the manager will be able to do it. If an employee is on the vacation for this particular day, he needs to enter it and fix this particular exception. Only then he will be able to save it out. Right now it's not going, but usually when you put the vacation, it will be gone. So it's raised on the pay code. And again, one more item is missed punches. Sometimes the employees might like when we swipe in and swipe out, we might miss the swipe in. Like here, the employee is scheduled to work at 4 am. He might have missed the swipe in and he would have only swiped out. So in that case, the employee will be having missed a punch. So the manager or the payroll needs to fix it. So if we enable the tick mark there like this, to not allow when the employee is having missed a punch, this means in that case the manager needs to fix the missed a punch. Only then the system will allow him to do the sign off. If now I try to do the sign off, it will throw some error. Currently we have not mapped, but if you have mapped something, it will say like unable to sign off. That is what this does. This is an optional one. It's not used widely, but some companies will use it for the missed punches so that the manager is aware of it. It is just to throw an error when he is trying to approve, like when he is trying to approve the time card or sign off the time card. Any doubts on this? Rayan and Mariam are clear on this. If needed, we can create one. We can create, say I'll create for Australia. Create one for our payroll also with Great Australia fee. And we'll say that when the employee is having missed punches, it should not allow him to sign off his time card. We are saving it. We have one sign off restriction that if an employee is having missed punches, it will not allow him to sign off. Done. Now that's all about sign off restriction. Now let's go to work with UI. If you see here, currently no one is using it. Whoever has done the training here has not created anything. I'll just give overview. This is not used much. So for what purpose we use this? Standard. It will follow Sunday through Saturday as a particular week or Monday through Sunday. If you see here, a particular pay period will start on Monday. Example, if I say you see here a particular pay period. If I sign off it, it signs off from this Sunday through this Saturday. So a particular pay period is starting from 11/6. From 11/6 to 11/12 is what a particular pay period. It starts on Sunday and ends on Saturday. This is how by default Kronos does. If some companies need that to be changed, and then they can use this. What is the split day of the week? Currently we have it as Sunday. If they want to change that, they can choose a particular day and a particular time. So usually it's Sunday. So from that particular day, the pay period will start. Currently, it's starting on Sunday. If you want to change the pay period to start on a different day, then we can do that. Any confusion here? No, we're just changing the standard one. When the work week starts? Usually we will not do it. Some companies might have discrepancy and say that their work week will start on Monday. Few companies. In that case, they will ask the Kronos to change it by default to Monday, so that Kronos can do. Or for a few locations alone. If they want to change it out, then they will do it here. So that is the reason no one has created it. Usually, we will not do it. That is about the work week. Then what we need to know is, we will go through the processing order. This is also a least used one. So let me open one of the existing and show you. Here, what we do is usually Kronos will process the items based on a particular order. Example, if you see, here we will have all the overtime. We'll have all the zones. We will have whatever we have created. These items will come here. All the schedule deviation, all the zones rest between shifts. Everything will come here. This will be processed in a normal order. How we have configured it in the combination rule or the pay code distribution. When both of them come, it should be a priority. And how it should be paid, everything we have already configured. But what this processing order does is we can give apart from the priority which we have given in the combination rule. We can bypass that and give a super priority, a particular overtime or something. Say whatever happens, let it happen. But when this particular overtime comes, then it should get the first priority. We can give it like that, we can select and put it here. So that whatever it is, when this overtime comes, this will get the first priority. Apart from other zones or whatever may be the system, this will get the first priority. It will bypass whatever we have configured in combination rule and pay code distributions. This may not be used, but I am just giving you an overview. Because normally this will be processed chronologically, how it is configured. If you want to bypass them and give a priority to a particular overtime or zone, we can use this. Now let me put the function to show code. 1 second. 1 second. I will start it. So function preparation rule. This has some importance. So let me tell you how it works. So there are two options here. One is simple and one is full. So let's start with the simple one. First, we will configure this to work. We will give the same name as the function. What this does is we can say employees are scheduled to work from AM to 4 PM. So we can here define up to how much time before or after the employee gets to start work. We can give a margin of 1 hour before which the employee can start. That means from 7 to 8 he can start to work. But if he is coming before 7 and trying to swipe in the clock, he can reject that much. Getting me what I am telling? Yes, exactly. They will not allow before 7 o'clock. In the early start restriction, I need to give 1 hour. That means whatever time he is scheduled to work, up to 1 hour before he can punch in. If he tries to punch in before 1 hour, it will reject it. And again, what is this early start margin and late start margin? It means if an employee is trying to punch in before 1 hour, it will reject it. Right now, I have not configured this properly. I am just giving you an example. If I give a restriction, I don't want to reject a punch. But let's say I am not rejecting any punch. Let's keep it at 24. So it will not reject any punch whatever the time the employee comes in. But another item I can do is, if you see here, this employee starts from 8 am to 4 pm. If I give 5 am and 2 pm here, and if I save it, it is currently taking it along with the schedule. Whatever the time I give, it is taking it with the schedule. Even if I give 3 am, it is taking it with the schedule. In the same line it is coming. Now, if I give 3 am, you can see here, the schedule goes in another row. This becomes an unscheduled punch. You can see here what I am doing. So this is where the margin starts. We saw restriction. What margin says means if I give early start margin as 4 hours, if the schedule is starting at 8 am, that means up to 4 am he can start. If he starts at 4 am, the system will consider him along with the schedule line. You can see here, now it has come back again. This one, I can show early start or late start, whatever. But if I give something before that 4 am, which is more than the 4 hours window, what it will do? It will create a new line stating that this is an unscheduled punch. It is stating that the system will not consider the employee has worked on this shift. He has come randomly sometime else. So that is what we have for early start margin. And same for late start margin. Late start margin. If a shift starts and he comes to work up to 4 hours after the shift starts, it will consider along with the shift. If he is coming more than 4 hours and 1 minute, it will consider him to be working in an unscheduled shift. Clear on this? Yes. So, in our case, what we will do is we will create a one which states early start margin is 1 hour. And early start restriction is 2 hours. Late start margin is again 1 hour. So that means he can come to work and punch in within 1 hour before or after. It will consider it to be with the shift. If he is coming more than 1 hour late or early, it will not consider him to be with the shift, but it will allow him up to 2 hours. If he is trying to start before 2 hours, it will reject the punch. Same with the late. We have for late also. We have late start restriction. Up to 1 hour after his shift ends, he can punch out. If he is trying to punch out more than 1 hour late, it will not allow him. Again, what we have here is missed punch, start and end margin. So this is how here I have given 1 hour. What this means is, let me give it as maybe 3 hours. My shift starts at 8 o'clock. And I see there is no. The system sees my shift starts 8 o'clock and the system will wait till 9, 10 and 11. 3 hours. It will wait and see if he is putting punch for that particular day. If he is not putting a punch for that particular day up to 3 hours. If there is no swipes received from the clock, it will flag it as missed punch. So after how many hours after shift starts the system should consider that the employee has missed a punch. So let us go into the last item, which is the mandatory one used across the other app. Let me first save it out. We have one more option here, which will be that whether we need to allow this unscheduled punch or not, that we can define here. And again, if I change this to full option, we will get some additional options here, along with what we have. Along with the late start restriction, there is a late start margin also. Previously, we had only early start restriction. Now we have late start restriction. And again, we will have some additional options. That's it. And what else we have? And also what this full add is. We can have same restriction for the breaks also. How much time he can take a break? After how much time? If he takes a break, we need to cancel it out. And how soon? If you are assigning a break at 12 am, how soon he can start 15 minutes before 12:30? So if you are assigning break at 12:30 to 1 pm, he can start his break at the maximum from 12:15, not beyond that. And he can start the break at the late, at most 12:45, not beyond that. So that window for breaks is what we added extra if we use full in the symbol. We will have only schedule start and schedule end. In the full options, we will also have the same pungent preparation rule for breaks if needed. Okay, so let me save and return on this. So, are you both near to the system? Yeah, the previous requirement which I gave, right? Are you able to work on that requirement which I gave? Yeah, which one? This, I think, 1 second. Not this. I gave this requirement, right? Yeah. So next item for today is the last topic on the pay rules, which is fixed rule. This has some significant importance. This will be used across all the opposed. The reason is this is what defines whether the employee is weekly, bi-weekly or monthly. You can see here, if he is weekly, we need to choose days and give 7 here. If he is bi-weekly, we need to choose 14 here. And if he is monthly, we need to choose monthly. Semi-monthly, mostly we are not using it. But we use these 3 items. So this is what, let's say that our payroll people, these all people belong stored by weekly. So I am going to change them to 14 days, which is bi-weekly. And what is our day divide? When our day starts, it's 12 am. So our day starts at 12 am. Then another important thing which comes is how does it belong to? Why this is like we have 4 hours in a day, scheduled out day with majority hours and day actually working. What this means? This is okay for normal shift. First shift, second shift is fine. But there are employees that are working in third shift. People will be working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. In that case, that 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., which day the hours should apply, because most of the hours the employees are working across the day. After 12 a.m., the employees are working in that case where the total hours should contribute whether to Monday or Tuesday. I am working from Monday 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday. So my hours where it should go. Whether all the hours should go to Monday or all the hours should go to Tuesday. So if I choose schedule in day, all my hours for that particular day will go to Monday. If I choose schedule out day the day I am punching out Tuesday, all my hours will go to schedule out day. Day with majority hours means which day I am working more hours. In this case, I am working 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. on Monday and 12 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Tuesday. So more hours on Tuesday. So that will go to Tuesday. It will randomly divide. Day actually work means it will separate it. 2 hours you have worked on Monday 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. It goes to Monday. Then 12 p.m. to again 5. Whatever you have worked on Tuesday, it will segregate for both the days. Clear on this, I am going with schedule in day itself. So schedule in day is just for the same day, right? Yeah, when we have punched in. The day which we have punched in, all the hours worked on that particular shift will go to that day. And if it is 2 different days, then it is. For that area only, we will have this confusion. So that is what 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I am having a shift. Monday 10 p.m. Tuesday 6 a.m. So if I choose schedule in day, whatever the hours I have worked on that particular shift will count to Monday's total. It will consider that Monday I have worked 8 hours. If I choose schedule out day, it will say I have worked the entire 8 hours on Tuesday. If I choose days with majority hours, which day I have worked more hours. In this case, I have worked more hours on Tuesday, only around 6 hours. So the entire hours goes to Tuesday. Day, actually, what means it will segregate. Okay, so up to 12 a.m. goes to Monday. After 12 a.m. goes to Tuesday. Yeah, we have created these items now. So let's assign these to our payroll. Okay, so let's go to the payrolls. We will pick our payroll. Let's first start with the fixed rule. We will pick our fixed rule. Australian. Okay, yeah. Then processing matter. We are not going to do anything. Pungent representation rule. We have our own pungent representation rule done. Then sign of restriction. We have our own. Let's put that also done. So that's it. And again, as I told you, Kiran, we have created holidays in this holiday list. Whatever the holidays needed in this holiday. What we did is we just give the holiday name, what day the holiday is. So where to see which employees are applicable for what holidays. That is through payrolls. Payroll. We have a different tab called holiday tab. We can choose what are the holidays which is applicable to this particular payroll. So I'm selecting few holidays here. And I'll just click on update version and save. So these employees will have these holidays and the items which we have created. And the fixed rule processing under a. Now it's time we'll test it out to our payroll. Let's pick the employee with whom we have assigned this. I'm not sure whether this is the guy. So now let's test our payroll. This is the employee we have assigned to. First item we are going to see is, let me say I'll go to next paper. So you can see now the pay period is coming for 2 weeks, which is based on our fixed payroll 14 days. You can see that, right? So first fixed rule is working. And now we have chosen schedule in day, right? So whatever the hours work will go to that particular day. You see here, if I put AM to maybe 2 am, even if he's crossing the 12 am, the total hours is going into that particular day only. It's not going to the next day. Even after 12, he's working 2 hours. That is also going to Monday's hours only. Right? So fixed rule is working properly. Our pay period has changed to 14 days. And we see all the hours working goes into the in punch day, the day he has in punched. So that's why first item is working. Second item is the punch interpretation rule. Second, we'll just test it out the missed punch. Let's say I'll put 4:30 p.m. here. It shouldn't allow us to save it. We have a sign of restriction. Let's see. We have saved it. Now let me try to approve and then sign off. Approve, I think it would allow, but after that signing off it shouldn't allow. Okay, this is next. We'll add signing off. We can do only on the previous pay period. Okay. So how do I test it out now? Sign up. 1 second man I need to assign. This payroll is assigned to the employee with the effective date of 1st of this month. So I'll just change it to some previous date. From 11 only it's assigned. So we need to test it out what previous date means. I need to give it a little bit back. Previous pay period is okay, somewhere around 10.23. This payroll the effective date of 10.23. Sign off. We can test it only on the previous pay period. 10.23. What was this error? No, it was just throwing out the refresher. Before sign off, I opened this page, right? So once I refresh it, it will go. Sometimes there will be a lag between this window and this window. That's fine. Just refreshing it so that it's okay. Now let me do one thing. I'll just delete these punches and I'll put a missed punch. Now this day, the employee has started 6 am, but he might have missed to punch in. Or sometime the system might have some issues and it didn't capture his punch. So now he has missed a punch. Let me try to sign off. Yeah, you can see here, right? The time card cannot be signed off because it contains one or more violations, and the violation it is stating. What is the violation? It is stating Mr. Punch. You can see missing punches. So for unexcused absence or missing punches, we can have this. But unexcused absence will not be mostly using it. For missed punches, we will be using it missed punches because the employee has worked his total hours and missed out. If you see, currently he is having 0. Only if the manager fixes it at 6 am, then it will allow him to get the payment. So it will affect the payment. So mostly we will have it for missed punches. So that is one thing. Then we have tested sign-off restrictions also. Next, what we do, I will remove it from the code. Sign-off restriction. Now we need to test the punch interpretation. So, as per our punch interpretation rule, if an employee starts at 8 am up to 7 am, if he punches at up to 7 am, it should consider it to be in the same line with the shift. If he punches before 7 am, it should leave him out of the shift. So 7 am, I am punching in. It is showing early in only, but it is considering along with the shift itself. So now let me try to put it at 6:30 am. I am trying to save it. Now it went out of the shift because that is how we have created our punch interpretation. Let me open the punch interpretation rule so that we get an idea of what exactly we are testing. So up to 1 hour before it is an early start margin. It will keep us within the shift and same for late start also. So if you are testing up to 7, it allowed us inside the same line. Once we go beyond 1 hour, it will consider it to be an unscheduled punch. Clear on what we are testing. And again we have another item which is before 2 hours. If the employee tries to punch in, it should reject the punch. So that means in the system. I am not sure whether we will be able to test it. This will happen through clocks. So my shift is starting at 8 am. If I am trying to punch in by 5:50 am. Now here in the time card it is allowing, but usually how the employee do is they will swipe in and swipe out. When they are swiping in and out, if you put a restriction of 2 hours in that device, it will say the punch is rejected and it will not go to time card. Clear? And same for the latent restriction. After 1 hour, his shift is ending at 4:30 p.m. If he is trying to punch out after 5:30 p.m., as per the configuration which we have created, the particular clock or the device which is using to swipe out will reject his punch. If we manually enter, it will accept it because we are not the employee, we are the super user. We can enter whatever the hours we want in the time card. Same goes to the manager also. Manager also can enter his time card. But if an employee is trying to swipe in or if an employee is trying to enter the punches, it will reject it. Click. That is about the punch and representation rule. So sign off restriction, we have seen fixed rules are also completed. And punch and representation rule is also completed. So last one is holiday. So we saw how we have created holiday for the entire company. And also we saw in our payroll how we are assigning the holidays based on a particular location or a particular country or a particular region. We can select what are the holidays applicable to that particular payroll. Now we need to see how an employee is getting paid for this, how many hours should be paid, how it is getting paid. Under what pay code he needs to get paid for a holiday. So that all depends on holiday credit rules. So what this does is, for example, I will open this holiday credit rule. We can assign this to a payroll or the work rule. What this does is we need to first see how we are going to pay him. And is there any condition for the holiday credit to be provided? We can say the employee should work before and after the day to get the holiday credit. If he is not working before or after the day, that means he is not eligible for holiday credit. We can give conditions or we can give good conditions either one day before or after he should be working. Only then he will get the holiday credit. We can define these conditions here. And there are some other options like there are work history, workplace, which is not needed. We can also have these items. To get a particular holiday credit, the employee should be at least employed for 30 days or 90 days. Usually the companies will have probation periods. It will be 3 months or 6 months. In that particular time, a particular company has a rule for not giving any holiday credits on that. They will be able to take leave, but there are no payments for that. We can define it here. We can say 90 days. So for 90 days from the time the employee is first 90 days, he will not get any holiday credits. After 90 days, only he will start uploading it. So these conditions we can give, or it can be based on the time employed, or it can be based on the time he is active on the application. Time employed means some people might be employed. They might start this month. And after 2 months, they might go on maternity leave and then they will come back after 1 year. So 6 months or 7 months. In that case, this particular day's employee will not work because it will just see the higher day. But in that case, active can work because they have worked only 2 months and then now they are inactive. They will come back again after 6 or 7 months and then they will work 1 or 2 months only. Then this will consider it to be 90 days. That is the difference between days employed and days active. These are just conditions. What are the conditions to be met to provide a holiday credit? The credit. This is just the eligibility. So credits is here in this column. Here we will define whether it's a fixed number of hours or hours from the schedule. So other items we will not be mostly using it. The two items which we will be using is fixed number of hours and hours from the schedule. Hours from the schedule means it is pretty straightforward. For that particular day, what schedule he is having? This guy is having 8 am to 4:30 p.m. and out of that 30 minutes break, that means he is having 8 hours schedule. So apparently it will provide 8 hours of holiday credit. If an employee is having 6 hours schedule, it will provide 6 hours of holiday credit. Apparently, it will fetch it from the schedule. What schedule he has, how many number of hours he has in the schedule, it will provide that. Or if you want to give them in a fixed number of hours, you can. Okay, I'm going to give irrespective of what he is having. I'm going to give him all the holidays in 8 hours. And the next item here is which pay code. Here we are using a pay code called holiday credit. If you want to choose a different pay code and pay him in a different way, we can choose all the pay codes whichever we have created about T1.0 to 2.5, everything will be here. What pay code the particular credit needs to go? We can select it from here. So here by default, it is having a pay code called holiday credit. It's using that. So other items we need not to change anything. It will be by default what it is there. Everything goes on to what pay code we have selected here. Okay, so only thing we need to choose there is whether it's based on the hours from the schedule or fixed number of hours. If it is fixed number of hours, we need to give what hours. If you are choosing hours from the schedule, no need to give anything. amount will automatically consider from the shift the employee hours. And again, if you choose hours from the schedule, there is one more option. If there are multiple shifts for a day, what shift the system should consider? We can use the first shift. Use the sum of all shifts. Usually it will not happen. For a particular day, the employee will have only one shift. So this is in case if an employee is working in night shift, right, 10 p.m. to 6 am, and again next day also you have 10 p.m. to 6 am. In that case, you can say use the first shift. And here again the same thing hours belong to. If an employee is in the third shift, which day the hours should belong to, whether it should belong to in day, out day, day with majority hours, or day actually work. Or we can directly use this, say no need to confuse anything. Whatever we have given already in the fixed rule, let it follow the same. So usually we will do that only use fixed rule setting. Mostly this will be like fixed hours only. They will be getting 8 hours of credit for each of the hours they worked on the holiday. So this is actually holiday. Credit rule is basically if an employee doesn't work on the holiday. Because usually we will not work on the holiday, but these hourly employees are entitled to get payment for public holidays. So that is the purpose we have this. Let me just duplicate this and I will create a new one for Austin. I am just going to do the same thing. I am just going to change it to Austin. We are going to give the employee 8 hours of credit irrespective of what he has worked under the fixed rule. This, I think we need to map it in work rule. Let me just see. Holiday credit rule. Currently is not. I am just using Austin FD. That's it from here. So with this we have almost completed all the items in the pay policies. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.